Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Great Malabite Efeni. Good morning,
Good
Emmanuel.
morning, Ruben.
Morning.
Good morning, Rufai.
Morning.
Good morning, Victoria Tundu MK Abiola.
Morning.
Yes.
Morning, Mr.
Looking creamy and beautiful as always.
So kind.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. Now, the lead story, Buhari, ND attack accelerates total uprooting of evil in polity. Says invasion won't deter military's resolve to end criminality. Commiserates with victims' family. Defense headquarters orders probe, denies staff slept off duty. Federal government needs political will to deal with terrorists, says Ifeanyi Okowa, Delta State Governor. Yes, the president and commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, is saying the attack had provided for more urgent measures to rid the country of vermin and emancipate the polity. Yes, so if, according to the president, if the military are looking for impetus to uproot the terrorists, here is one, because the terrorists went straight into the chambers of the Nigerian military with that attack in the Nigerian Defense Academy. Well, the president can say what he wants, but they don't have to wait for this kind of embarrassment to be used as an impetus to uproot the military, to uproot the terrorists. The military has to do the needful in getting these rogue elements who have turned our country into a haven of insecurity, where life is becoming short and brutish in many areas of the country. As for the defense headquarters and its probe, we hope at the end of the day we'll see how those who failed in their duty, because like we said yesterday, there have been attacks all around the Nigerian Defense Academy, at the Forestry College, at the Nigerian Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria quarters, not too far from the Defense Academy, amongst other attacks on innocent Nigerians on that Kaduna highway. But yet, the military did not do something to turn that area into a no-go area for terrorists. But we'll see how it pans out. Now, the independent newspaper, residents flee Jos City. Residents flee Jos City. Yes, the killings in Jos North is still raging. Well, 37 persons were killed yesterday, and the state governor has reimposed the curfew in that area. You wonder why the curfew was lifted so early, when you expect the security agents, the intelligence agencies should be able to sense that tension was still high in that area, that persons were also thinking or plotting what you may want to call revenge killings. But we allow these things to happen, and we not take measures, reimpose curfew. And we'll also hear from the security agencies who have been in the area since after the attacks of last week. So you wonder how come they could not prevent this latest round of killings. The leadership newspaper, mixed reaction trailed Matawale's call for emergency rule dialogue with bandits. ACF, the Arewa Consultative Forum, rejects state of emergency, backs negotiation with bandits. Middle Belt Forum disagrees with governor, says bandits should be treated as terrorists, and agree that's what they are. So-called bandits who could bring down Nigerian Air Force aircrafts, find their way into the Nigerian Defense Academy to kill officers. What else do you want to call them if they are not terrorists? Military probe attacks on NDA as abductors demand 200 million ransom for Major. Yes, that Major is still alive. And the bandits are demanding for ransom. This attack will hasten end of banditry, says PMB. PDP asks National Assembly to summon president over worsening insecurity. Now, the NewsDirect newspaper. Again, bandits kill 43 in Benue, Plateau, as presidency condemns autumn's divisive utterances. Yes, quite pathetic that many parts of the country have become killing fields, and these killings go on and government react, security agencies react, only after Nigerians have been slaughtered. As for the presidency, that statement from Garba Shehu responding to Autumn's comments, well, I'm sure an alumnus of the Aso Villa Abati will expect higher standard, because going into verbal brickbats with a governor, I don't think that is the best that should come out of the presidency. And I'm sure Garba Shehu is capable of better response, because he's a seasoned journalist himself, one-time president of the Nigerian Guild of Editors. But it's unfortunate that sometimes the kind of comments attributed to the presidency is it's unbecoming, if I just to put it mildly. Now, if we look at the Daily Sun newspaper, heads to roll over NDA bandits attack. CDS, Chief of Defense, has set up probe panel. Attack won't dampen armed forces' resolve to end criminality, says Buhari. Yes. Now, the BusinessDay newspaper, Saudi, Malaysian oil savings relieve citizens in lesson for Nigeria. Saudi, Malaysian oil savings relieve citizens in lesson for Nigeria. Yes, the government of Saudi Arabia and Malaysia are tapping into savings from fiscal prudence or excess earnings from crude oil to protect their vulnerable citizens from harsh economic realities. But this is not the case in Nigeria. Front page of the BusinessDay newspaper. Let's look at the foreign newspapers quickly. Now, The Guardian of UK. Head for borders. UK tells Afghans trying to flee. Yes, Afghans who want to flee to Britain may be better off trying to get to the border than awaiting Royal Air Force evacuations, the Defense Secretary said, as the UK troops made last-ditch attempts to lift at least 1,500 remaining interpreters and others who supported the UK government. Now, the Daily Telegraph newspaper, NHS draws up plans to vaccinate 12-year-olds. Children will not need parental consent to get jabs as trust. So, to prepare for rollout, yes, the UK is taking the vaccine campaign to the young ones. Now, something that will interest Nigerians, the Times of UK.
Well, Emmanuel,
yes.
Just hold your fire. Let's take a quick break, and then when we return, we'll come back to you. Please stay with us. We'll be right back with Emmanuel Feng. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. Emmanuel Fene is still here reporting top stories from newspapers around the world. Emmanuel Efeni, over to you.
Ruben, we'll just round off the foreign newspapers, then we'll return to some Nigerian newspapers that are just arriving at our table this morning. Yes, I was looking at the Times of UK, and I said this story should interest Nigerians and Africans. British-made malaria vaccine could save millions of children. Yes, a game-changing malaria vaccine. That's how the Times of UK puts it. Game-changing malaria vaccine developed by British researchers offers hope of saving the lives of millions of children in Africa after trial results beat expectation. Yes, that vaccine was developed by the Brentford-based GSK Pharmaceuticals, and after trials of 6,000 children between the ages of 5 months and 17 months in Mali and Burkina Faso, that vaccine is ready to be deployed, expectedly in October when the World Health Organization meets. It should be given its nod for the deployment of these malaria vaccines. Yes, saving the lives of children. I'm sure adults can also not wait for this vaccine, because we know that malaria kills so many in Africa. And of course, if you think of the man-hour lost to malaria-induced leave in African countries, then you say, welcome the malaria vaccine. Now, if we just look at how some newspapers that just arrived, the Daily Trust newspaper, just killing. Youths dump over 20 corpses at Plateau Government House. And Naguta leaders accuse headers of killing 37 members. We are not responsible, Fulani group. 24-hour curfew reimposed in Jos North, 10 suspects in custody. How land dispute might have triggered bloodshed. While the Guardian newspaper, yes, Nigerian's Guardian newspaper, NDA attack, army sets up inquiry, presidency assures of security. The New Telegraph newspaper also talking about insurgency. Federal government shielding Boko Haram sponsors, says ex-military intelligence chief. That's the New Telegraph newspaper. While the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, 36 killed in Jos. Angry youths dump corpses at the government house. Government reimposed 24-hour curfew in Jos. Now, below the photographs there, Okowa Adebanjo, that's of the Nigerian Tribune, Okowa Adebanjo, others call for new constitution. Restructuring possible if citizens vote a willing leader in 2023. The Northern Elders Forum predicting there. Over to you, Ruben Rufai and
I want to go back to that story in Business Day where you said how Saudi Arabia and Malaysia had saved for a rainy day, whereas Nigeria had not. And just recall what happened in 2011. I'm sure you remember, Dr. Abati, because you had a front row seat there, when Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was, really pushing for the Sovereign Wealth Fund. And you can recall the resistance from the Governors Forum. And
share the money, share the money. They were shouting, share the money.
I'm so glad you remember. We all know who those voices were. And it just goes to show the short-sightedness. That Greek proverb that societies grow great when men plant trees knowing they won't sit under the shade is exactly what we're missing here. We never do anything for the benefit of future generations. It's all about what we can have. Well, not we, they. Let me not try and be polite. What they can get. The selfishness and the short-sightedness is shameful, frankly.
Well, briefly, the malaria vaccine that was reported on the front page of the Times of London today is called RTS. And the research, as you pointed out, was conducted by GSK in collaboration with the university professors. And it was based on a test of about 6,000 children in Burkina Faso and Mali. And it was found that to be 70% effective. The GSK and the scientists are waiting for the approval of the World Health Organization, latest by October. And this indeed will be a major breakthrough for humanity, not just for Africa, that is pointedly mentioned there, because we're told that it will just be like a flu jab that you take regularly. And it will take us beyond mosquito nets and a certain precautionary measures. And this is what science, what research can do for humanity. Some people may say, is it not ironic that the researchers who are now at the verge of a solution to malaria are people who are not from the endemic region? But this is global research, and we hope that it will get the endorsement of WHO. On the assaults, on the NDA and the various statements that have been issued, we commented on that earlier. I just need to add to it the editorial of this day newspaper today, which I think in a few paragraphs makes all the points that need to be made. The editorial says, for example, that it is important for all these critical stakeholders in the country to look beyond politics and render whatever assistance they can in the bid to put an end to the spiral of violence. Isn't that the point? What we are getting is people trading blames, people playing politics. Then the editorial in its concluding paragraph says, for the umpteenth time, we reiterate that the military and security agencies need to step up their game to checkmate the current descent into anarchy. Because indeed, with the killings we have seen in various parts of the country, this is like a descent into anarchy, and people should focus on what is important rather than politics. And then of interest to me is the lead story in the New Telegraph. Federal government shielding Boko Haram sponsors, says ex-military intelligence chief. And this is a gentleman who was on television yesterday, Commodore Kunle Olamumi, who said clearly, categorically, that the federal government of Nigeria knows those who are behind the Boko Haram attacks, behind banditry, behind terrorists. And that the only reason we are not making progress is that many of those people and their sponsors and godfathers are already in government, and that they cannot summon the courage to go after their own people. If that is true, that would be very sad indeed. In fact, it would be a tragedy. And I think that the allegations made by this particular former intelligence officer, at the defense headquarters of Nigeria should be taken seriously, because he sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
I mean, Rufai, isn't it ironic that while United Arab Emirates had apprehended, tried and jailed Boko Haram financiers, not one person has been so jailed in Nigeria where they operate?
Like they say, the devil is in the detail. And if you look at the detail critically, and you look very hard enough, in fact, you'll see multifaceted devils in there. And that's always been a Nigerian story. Like the Commodore said yesterday, he was pointed, he said the DSS even have dossiers on these people. He said some people that are serving in the current cabinet, the DSS interrogated, finalized the interrogation, but because of lack of political will, they can't be prosecuted. He went further to say that he was part of the team that stopped the crisis in the Niger Delta. That it was not just only amnesty. They know what they did. It was based on intelligence. You see, because when you see all of these attacks, you wonder, is the Nigerian intelligence community dead? Obviously not. Obviously not. And, we talk about intelligence officers in this country, that Nigerians have very good intelligence officers. So why are we not putting the intelligence to work? Just like what happened in the NDA yesterday. So is it that
2 days ago.
2 days ago that we can't gather enough intelligence around that area? So there is more than what meets the eyes. But I keep begging. I think it has gone to the point to beg now. Because I don't know what to say again. When you talk, people don't listen. Anybody involved in this, just please save this country. Because you see, this country is bigger than any man. And wherever you are, you will come and you will go one day. And Nigeria will remain. Please, stop whatever it is that might be the case. Let's just return this country back to a path of peace and security. People have died enough. People have suffered enough. Our grounds now has become grounds where we take the blood of young Nigerians. And this should not continue. It is heart-aching. It is heart-wrenching. Parents are now burying their children every day.
Well,
I mean, we heard the story of the, Tony, remind me the name of the school that came on air, that you got emotional that day on air, and then we were all emotional as regards, there's a particular school.
The Islamic school in Niger State.
Islamic school in Niger State.
Yeah. Those children are still in the forest. 5 have died.
5 have died.
Those little children.
I mean, if for anything, the bandits doing this, the terrorists doing this, look at the tears of those parents and stop whatever it is.
Well,
if for anything, look at the pain.
I don't know whether the bandits, the terrorists, and their sponsors have enough conscience to listen to preachments. What we should insist upon is that the Nigerian government should go after them and ensure that their sponsors are also identified. If Commodore Lamoume has more information, they should engage with them. If there are other intelligence officers who have information, they should engage with them. Operation Safe Corridor has not worked. Operation Safe Haven is not working. The best that we can do is to condemn the bandits, the terrorists, that they pose a threat. But if you engage in crime, then the state has a responsibility to come after you and protect the rest of us. Nobody deserves to die, whether you are a child or you are, a security officer. Thank you very much, Emmanuel.